The graduates we celebrate today stand on the shoulders of Des Moines University alumni who built a strong foundation of academic integrity and professional commitment that has benefited patients, healthcare centers, and our academic community throughout their years of service. Please stand as we welcome back to their alma mater alumni representatives for the 50+, 50, and 25-year anniversary classes. The alumni are led by Dr. Roger Mansour, a member of the class of 1963 who serves as the Grand Marshal for the ceremony today. Dr. Mansour, a board-certified anesthesiologist and retired medical chief of staff, is an active supporter and booster of the university, based on his deep appreciation for the dynamic and dramatic accomplishments for the university in the past 50 years. Represented in the processional are alumni from several classes in the 1950s, the 50-year reunion class from 1964, and the 25-year reunion class from 1989. Des Moines University is also very proud of the Alumni Association, which seeks to promote the welfare of the university. Following our honored alumni are 4 distinguished members of the faculty who were recently awarded Faculty Emeritus status. The designation of Emeritus faculty is received for those retiring from the university with more than 20 years of service and a record of significant contributions to the academic, service, and scholarly pursuits of Des Moines University. Professor Bill Case has a very unique and distinguished record of service to the university. One of the original consultants involved in the development of the physician assistant program in the late 80s, Professor Case joined the PA faculty in 1993, served as an instructor, an assistant professor, and program director until 2008. At that point, Professor Case found another passion in his life by serving as the clinical coordinator for the simulation laboratory, where his clinical skills and expertise in clinical education contributed to the dynamic and innovative learning environment of the center. Dr. Edward Pat Finnerty has served the interests of Des Moines University for more than 30 years. During this time, Dr. Finnerty taught and mentored students in all 3 colleges while demonstrating a commitment to scholarship through publications and numerous scientific journals. While demonstrating a commitment to scholarship through publications, Dr. Finnerty has come to be recognized at the national level, having served on the National Board of Osteopathic Medical Examiners and the International Association of Medical Science Educators. In 2009, he was named a fellow of the National Academy of Osteopathic Medical Education. Dr. David Spreadberry has served on the faculty for 35 years, and for the last 7 has been chairperson of the Biochemistry and Nutrition Department. Well known around DMU as the inspiration and face of wellness, Dr. Spreadberry does not just preach a healthy lifestyle, he lives it daily as an example for the DMU community. Through his lifestyle, his nutrition lectures, and his ever so popular elective on healthy cooking, he inspired so many on campus that it seemed only fitting that we had wellness as a stated value of Des Moines University. Dr. Wayne Terry joined the faculty in 1983 as a member of the Department of Physiology and Pharmacology. Dedicated to the study of geriatrics and the physiology of aging, Dr. Terry coordinated the geriatrics course that is taught to all DO and DPM students and contributed content for all programs. With his critical expertise and his dedication to the development of the senior health fair, Dr. Terry uniquely bridged education and community service to be an outstanding example of a professional-based science but grounded in humanities. And now, Des Moines University is proud to present the class of 2014.
As the Grand Marshal for this commencement ceremony, I am pleased to extend greetings to all gathered here today. It is indeed an honor to make it known that Des Moines University will award degrees to our graduates in the College of Health Sciences, the College of Podiatric Medicine and Surgery, and the College of Osteopathic Medication. The ceremony, the 114th in the history of Des Moines University, continues a rich academic tradition that began in 1899, when the first class of 8 received degrees. Today, the university will proudly award 539 degrees representing the 3 colleges and 9 academic programs. I am now pleased to welcome our president, Dr. Angela L. Walker Franklin, who serves as the preceding official at this commencement ceremony.
Good morning. Thank you, Dr. Mansour, and welcome to everyone gathered here today. To pay tribute to this great nation for the many freedoms we enjoy, will the audience please rise for the national anthem? We are pleased that Sarah Lynn, a member of this graduating class in the College of Osteopathic Medicine, will lead us in singing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Sarah. Please remain standing for a moment of silent reflection and gratitude for our many blessings. You may now be seated. Members of the Board of Trustees, distinguished faculty, graduates, alumni, family members, and friends, welcome to the 114th commencement ceremony for Des Moines University. This is an exciting day for all of us. It is a day when our students fulfill the promise that began with their acceptance to Des Moines University and culminates today with the awarding of a professional degree. Graduates, I invite you to look at this vast audience gathered here to celebrate your accomplishments. Enjoy your day. This is also a day of celebration for all associated with Des Moines University. Throughout its history, this institution has conferred nearly 16,500 degrees, providing graduates with the knowledge and training to improve the health and wellness of individuals as well as entire communities. While one can barely imagine the changes that will become part of the healthcare landscape in the next 10 to 25 years, our graduates are superbly prepared with outstanding training, a heritage based in humanistic care, and a commitment to listen, engage, and collaborate in the many settings that provide or impact healthcare today. Graduates, during your time at Des Moines University, you have indeed changed our world. You have inspired us with your service to the underserved, as demonstrated in the Homeless Camp Outreach Project, the Global Health Mission trips, and numerous visits to the underserved in our community. You have challenged us with your commitment to make this university the best it can be, as demonstrated by your interprofessional relationships, research projects, student government, and club leadership, and your commitment to the value of inclusiveness and cultural sensitivity. Your ability to change the world is the result of the effort of a very special group gathered before us in the audience. Graduations could never occur were it not for the dedicated efforts of our faculty, scholars, researchers, advisors, and mentors who have contributed immensely to your education and to the enhancement of the healthcare professions you represent. Recognized in the processional were 4 emeriti faculty who in combination have contributed 120 years to the educational, service, and research mission of Des Moines University. Will Dr. David Spretberry, Dr. Pat Finnerty, Dr. Wayne Terry, and Mr. Bill Case please rise and accept the appreciation of a very grateful university. Congratulations. You may be seated. We are pleased to welcome back to their alma mater our distinguished alumni, whose work and accomplishments have provided a strong heritage and foundation for those of you who graduate today. Special guests this year are alumni in the classes of 1989, 1964, and earlier years who very joyfully led the processional for our ceremony today, wearing silver and gold ceremonial stoles. Last evening, the 25, 50, and 50-plus anniversary alumni were honored with a medallion presentation to symbolize their ongoing connection to their alma mater. To all alumni, we thank you for proudly continuing the tradition of compassionate healthcare delivery that is the hallmark of our institution. We also want to recognize those alumni who serve America in the military by providing medical care for all who protect America's freedoms at home and on foreign shores. And we extend thanks to all veterans and active duty servicemen and women attending our ceremony today. On the dais are members of the Board of Trustees who have wisely governed the course of Des Moines University and ensured that our historic mission has been preserved and strengthened to the position of preeminence that we enjoy today. Members of the Board of Trustees and Emeriti Board members, will you please stand and be recognized? It is now my pleasure to invite the Chairman of the Board of Trustees, Dr. Larry Baker, from the class of 1977, to deliver greetings to our graduates and guests.
Thank you, Dr. Franklin. As guardians of the university's mission and academic excellence, the members of the Board of Trustees are delighted to extend greetings to all gathered here today. We are extremely proud to recognize these talented graduates and to extend our congratulations to them as well as to our faculty. We applaud each and every one of you and wish you a successful future dedicated to the care of patients and patient populations. We are also pleased to recognize and congratulate the alumni who are here today to celebrate the anniversaries of their graduation and to reflect on their careers dedicated to serving the needs of their patients and communities. Our very best wishes to each of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Baker. On behalf of the faculty and all others in the community we proudly call Des Moines University, I extend thanks to the families and friends who have joined us to celebrate the individual and collective achievements of the graduates, and to the class of 2014 as you celebrate the completion of a major milestone in your educational journey. Des Moines University is proud to recognize you as accomplished professionals. May you enjoy for many years the rewards that come to those who serve others. I'm now pleased and honored to introduce our commencement speaker. Born in Cumming, Iowa, with a population of 150, Thomas Richard Harkin is a son of Iowa who became a national hero for those too often overlooked by the Washington bureaucracy. While championing the rights of the underdog, he developed enough political clout to become the sponsor of major pieces of legislation affecting civil rights, education, agriculture, and medical research. As Senator Harkin concludes his career of public service to benefit the common good at the end of this term, Des Moines University is proud to recognize the accomplishments of this very distinguished national leader. First winning election to the U.S. House in 1974, he represented Iowa's 5th congressional district until 1984, when he challenged an incumbent senator and won. Iowans returned him to the Senate in 1990, 1996, 2002, and 2008, making Tom Harkin the first Iowa Democrat to win a 5th term in the U.S. Senate. He currently chairs the Senate Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee. Since arriving in Congress, Senator Harkin has championed issues that touch the lives of everyday Americans: healthcare, education, and equal rights. A staunch defender of America's working families, he has led the fight to improve education and modernize school infrastructure, reduce class size, give students better computer and internet access, expand school counseling and nutrition programs, and improve teacher training. In 1990, Senator Harkin sponsored and passed the Americans with Disabilities Act, landmark legislation that protects the civil rights of millions of Americans with physical and mental disabilities. He learned firsthand about the challenges facing people with disabilities from his late brother, Frank, who was deaf from an early age. Known as the Emancipation Proclamation for People with Disabilities, the bill has become Senator Harkin's signature legislative achievement. The law has literally changed the landscape of America by requiring accessible buildings and transportation and workplace accommodations for people with disabilities. In his efforts to champion issues that benefit everyday Americans, he championed a request for Des Moines University in 2008 to provide funding for a mobile health clinic. Many of you saw the van on campus yesterday containing 2 exam rooms. This mobile health van has been used to provide health care to rural communities, free clinics of Iowa, homeless outreach camps, and at community service events throughout the region. Senator Harkin, with deep appreciation from Des Moines University for 40 years of service dedicated to the public good, it is now my honor to invite you to the podium to deliver the commencement address for the class of 2014.
Dr. Franklin, thank you very much for that very generous and very kind introduction. As Mark Twain once said when he was introduced with a lot of effusive praise, he turned to the person who introduced him and said, "Madam, you'll go to heaven for your generosity." And I thank you for those very generous words. Dr. Baker, our chair of the Board of Trustees, I thank you, and I thank the entire university family for the honor of addressing this commencement and for receiving the Honorary Doctor of Laws degrees from Des Moines University. I'm grateful, but also a bit self-conscious, knowing that I'm standing before more than 270 graduates who earned their doctorates the hard way. It's been said that graduation is one of the 5 great milestones in one's life. The other 4 being, of course, birth, marriage, death, and the day you finally pay off your student loans. Dr. Franklin, my parents would be astonished to see me standing in front of so many distinguished professors and doctors. I mentioned I was from Cumming, but my mother was an immigrant from Slovenia. She had little formal schooling. My father was a coal miner who only finished 6th grade. My father always said he finished the 8th grade, but as someone pointed out, "Pat, you're Irish, you brag too much." So I find it a bit amazing to be here among all the caps and gowns and distinguished academics. I sort of feel like that mule that was at the Kentucky Derby. I don't expect to win, but I sure do appreciate the attention in the company. And you all are thoroughbreds. You've run hard, you've finished the race, you're all in the winner's circle, and you and your parents and your loved ones can be proud of your achievements. I'm glad to be here among folks who share my passion for wellness and prevention, giving people the tools they need to take charge of their own health. I feel a very special kinship with this very great medical university. Coming from a small town, I deeply appreciate that your graduates are practicing in 94 of Iowa's 99 counties, including so many rural parts of our state. And I have a profound respect for osteopathic medicine, your insistence on understanding a person's body and mind as an integrated whole instead of just treating an isolated disease or symptom. When this school was founded in 1898, that was seen as a radical new approach. Well, more than a century later, you're in the vanguard again. Folks are rediscovering the wisdom and the value of holistic medicine, an holistic approach that's taught here at Des Moines University. And that's a good thing, because America's approach to healthcare desperately needs these reforms and these transformations. I'm reminded of the corny joke about the guy who's waiting to see the doctor. He waits for half an hour, and then an hour and a half, a couple hours. Finally, he's ushered into the examining room. The doctor apologizes for the long wait, and the patient replies, he says, "Well, that's okay, doc, but I just thought you might want to treat my illness in its earlier stages." Well, that in a microcosm is our traditional healthcare system in America. The fact is, I've said many times, we haven't had a healthcare system. We've had a sick care system. If you get sick, you get care. whether through insurance, Medicare, Medicaid, S-CHIP, community health centers, emergency rooms, charity. The problem is that this is a disease management approach. It waits until people develop serious illnesses and chronic conditions and then spends trillions, literally trillions of dollars for pills, surgery, hospitalization, and disability. Meanwhile, ignoring Ben Franklin's advice that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, we spend peanuts on prevention. That's how we ended up, until recently, with the absurdity of insurance companies paying $30,000 or more to amputate a diabetic foot, but refusing to reimburse several $100s for nutrition counseling and support, which might prevent a person from getting advanced diabetes in the first place. Well, obviously, this is not just absurd, it's unsustainable. And I've been saying this for a long time. Back in 1992, I ran for president of the United States. Now, some of you older people here may have missed that. That's okay. I got beat by some obscure fellow from Arkansas. I don't know whatever happened to him. In retrospect, I did run a lousy campaign. Someone once said that Harkin wanted to run for president in the worst way, and he did. But even then, I spoke often about putting prevention at the center of our health system. Here's what I said in 1992. Most Americans spend more to maintain their cars than they do their bodies. But the same principles apply. Pay some now or pay more later. After all, prevention is better than patching because staying well is better than being sick. It's simple common sense, and it's time that our national health priorities reflected that. Well, there were a lot of people who understood the need for wellness and prevention. They got it. Osteopaths got it. But the chattering classes and the so-called experts dismissed me as just out of the mainstream. We were still in the grip of a medical industrial complex in the United States, and that complex has a very highly developed immune system. It sent out very potent antibodies to thwart us and to thwart the folks here at Des Moines University and anyone else who dared question the stagnant quo, as I called it. But I've got a stubborn streak. I prefer to call it perseverance, and I continue to push forward. Some of the changes were modest. In 1992, I was able to put a provision in law just simply to change the name of the Center for Disease Control, CDC, to change it to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, so that they would understand they had a new thing that they had to work on, prevention. 2002, in the Farm Bill, I put in a provision to provide more fresh fruits and vegetables to kids in 4 states. It's now in every state in the United States. In 2009, following the death of Ted Kennedy, Senator Kennedy, I became the chair of the Senate's Health Committee, on which I had served for over 2 decades. And since 2009, this committee has been a powerhouse of legislation focused on prevention, including food safety reform, menu labeling, the Pandemic and All Hazards Preparedness Act, the PREMI Reauthorization Act, the Family Smoking and Tobacco Control Act, at long last, giving the Food and Drug Administration the authority to regulate tobacco and tobacco products. And then there was another step forward. In 2010, the passage of comprehensive health reform called the Affordable Care Act, which came out of my committee and out of the House Finance Committee. Critics of that law have focused on the botched website or the non-existent death panels. Supporters point to the law's crown jewel. At long last, tens of millions of Americans with pre-existing conditions like cancer or diabetes cannot be denied health care coverage any longer. But most folks have overlooked a major section of the law, which I had the privilege of authoring, focusing on prevention and wellness and public health, all with the understanding that these don't just happen in a doctor's office, but also in our schools, our communities, and our workplaces. Health reform includes a whole array of provisions to promote healthy lifestyles, good nutrition, physical activity, workplace wellness, and to prevent chronic diseases. For example, the law requires all insurance plans to cover essential screenings, such as colonoscopies and also annual physicals without any copays or deductibles. So in ways big and small, the Affordable Care Act is jump-starting America's transformation from a sick care system into a genuine wellness society. And to state the obvious, an America that is focused on wellness and prevention is an America that will be turning more and more to you, to osteopathic medicine. But the Affordable Care Act is just the beginning of the change that we need. And I challenge today's graduates not just to embrace the change, but to help lead it. As always, leading the charge will require confronting powerful vested interests, including the processed food industry and the soft drink industry, which seem determined to addict Americans to sugar, salt, and fat with catastrophic consequences for our health. I've never forgotten something that Dr. Andrew Weil told our committee when he testified before it several years ago. He said, "The default status of the human body is to be healthy." In other words, our bodies want to be healthy. Our bodies have tremendous powers of healing. The problem, however, is that the default status of our society and culture is to sabotage our natural health. I keep pointing out that in our society, it's easy to be unhealthy and hard to be healthy. That ought to be turned around. For example, the junk food industry relentlessly targets our children. And then, like clueless dodos, we claim to be shocked that America has an epidemic of childhood obesity and early signs in many young people of coronary artery disease. Well, we just saw the power of this industry just this past week in Congress. 2 years ago, Secretary of Agriculture Tom Vilsack, our former governor, issued regulations based upon laws that we had passed to upgrade school lunches, cutting back on calories, sugar, salt, and fat in favor of more fruits and vegetables. Last week, in the House of Representatives, the empire struck back. And the House is pushing a bill to get healthy lunches out of our schools and put junk food right back in. Not surprisingly, this rollback is being driven by the potato industry, meaning the French fry industry, and other junk food interests. And a group that has the audacity to call itself the School Nutrition Association is also in favor of the rollback. That's shameless, shameless. Another great challenge is that Americans are being prescribed far too many prescription drugs, prescriptions that are often unnecessary and harmful. Instead of doing what osteopaths do so well, engaging with the patient, actively listening, seeking the underlying cause of illness, too many doctors just reach for their prescription pad. I've heard that the average time that a psychiatrist spends with a patient before prescribing a psychotropic drug is about 10 minutes. How do you know a person in 10 minutes? Opioids are being radically overprescribed. In 2012, think about this, in 2012, 18 billion opioid pills were prescribed in America. That's enough for 75 opioid pills per adult in our country. Pain clinics didn't used to exist. I never heard of a pain clinic all the time I was growing up. Now they're opening everywhere. I didn't realize we had so much pain in our country. The over-medication of America is dangerous. It causes vast unnecessary illness and death, and it is a major factor driving up health care costs. So I say to all the graduates here today, these are your challenges. I challenge you to confront them in your practices, in your professional societies, in your communities. You're entering a brave new world of healthcare, full of new opportunities and new dangers. The good news is that this great university has prepared you superbly for all these challenges. I'm reminded of an old saying that in times of great change, there are two kinds of leaders. There are those who usher out the old, and they are called pallbearers. And those who are usher in the new, and they are called torchbearers. My friends, as graduates today, you are the torchbearers. The future will be illuminated by your ideas, your energy, and your leadership in making us more of a wellness society, in transforming our healthcare system into a system that promotes good health and well-being, and not just patching and fixing and mending later on. And so, I know Des Moines University very well. I know how you've been prepared. And as I look around this hall today, I can see that the future is in very good hands. So I congratulate all of you for your impressive achievements here at Des Moines University. And I wish you all brilliant success in keeping us healthy in the decades ahead. Thank you.
Senator Harkin and Dr. Baker, will you please join me at the podium? For service to uphold civil and human rights, whereby Senator Tom Harkin has worked to open doors of opportunity through the Americans with Disabilities Act. Be it known that his vision for a society offering equal opportunity and complements Des Moines University's historical emphasis on creating an inclusive society offering equal health care access for all. For service to improve America's healthcare system, whereby Senator Harkin has worked to remove barriers to healthy living, reduce chronic disease, and rein in the high costs of health care. Be it known that these efforts support our vision for a healthy lifestyle based on preventive care, holistic medicine, and an institutional commitment to wellness. For service to enhance medical research, whereby Senator Harkin has worked to increase funding in the areas of cardiovascular disease, cancer, Alzheimer's disease, as well as to lift restrictions on stem cell research. Be it known that his support of medical research bolsters Des Moines University's research goals as we strive to increase our scholarly contributions to the field of medical science, pedagogy, and humanism in healthcare. For service to the Senate Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committee, whereby Senator Harkin works to ensure that the economy benefits all Americans, that every child has the opportunity to pursue a high-quality education, and that access to affordable health care for all Americans is an undeniable right. Be it known that Senator Harkin is a champion of the people, a voice for those whose voices are often not heard, and an icon for equal rights. Therefore, in recognition of Senator Harkin's widely acclaimed contributions to civil rights, education, medical research, and health care, Des Moines University is proud to honor this truly distinguished United States Senator and favorite son of Iowa. I'm privileged to now confer this degree. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Des Moines University and by the state of Iowa, I do hereby confer upon Thomas Richard Harkin the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, of which this citation will be a witness forever. Congratulations. The deans will now present their graduating classes in preparation for the awarding of the degree. I'm pleased to now introduce Dean Jody Cahalan, Dean of the College of Health Sciences.
Will the graduates from the College of Health Sciences, the Healthcare Administration Program, the Public Health Program, the Physician Assistant Program, the Post-Professional Doctor of Physical Therapy Program, and the Doctor in Physical Therapy Program please stand? President Franklin, members of the boards of trustees, and honored guests, on behalf of the faculty, I present to you the graduating class of 2014 of the College of Health Sciences. The members of the faculty of the College of Health Sciences have evaluated the candidates and endorse all of these students as worthy of having the degree Master of Healthcare Administration, Master of Public Health, Master of Science in Physician Assistant Studies, or the Doctor of Physical Therapy conferred on them. It is with great pride that I present the class of 2014 of the College of Health Sciences. You may be seated.
Good morning. I'm Tim Yoho. I'm the Dean of the College of Podiatric Medicine and Surgery. If I could have the graduates from the College of Podiatric Medicine and Surgery please stand. All right, there you are right there, okay. President Franklin, members of the Board of Trustees, honored guests, family, friends of the graduates, on behalf of the faculty, I present the 2014 graduating class of the College of Podiatric Medicine and Surgery. The faculty of the college have evaluated the candidates and endorsed each of these individuals as worthy of having the degree Doctor of Podiatric Medicine conferred upon them. President Franklin, it is my pleasure to present the newest members of the podiatric medical profession and the Des Moines University Alumni Association. Congratulations. Please be seated.
Good morning. I'm Dr. J.D. Polk, the Dean of the College of Osteopathic Medicine. Before I ask the graduates to stand, I must sadly acknowledge that one of the COM class of 2014 is missing. One of the members of their family unfortunately lost his life in a tragic car accident a little over a month ago. Sami Raganwala is a student that was very dear to many of us. However, we choose to celebrate Sami's life today by acknowledging his influence and accomplishments while at DMU. I'd like to read one clinical evaluation summary from Sami's performance. Sami Raganwala is one of the best students I have ever had. Outstanding personality, clinical skills, and medical knowledge equivalent to that of a first-year resident. He was a pleasure to have. He is an asset to any program. He is a compassionate physician. Sami was accepted into the internal medicine residency program at the University of Missouri Health System. Sami Raganwala met all the requirements for graduation prior to his death, and thus is awarded the degree of Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine posthumously. Will those graduates from the College of Osteopathic Medicine please stand? President Franklin, members of the Board of Trustees, honored guests, on behalf of the faculty, I present to you the 2014 graduating class of the College of Osteopathic Medicine. The members of the faculty of the College of Osteopathic Medicine have evaluated the candidates and endorse all of these students as worthy of having the degree of Master of Science in Anatomy, Master of Science in Biomedical Sciences, or Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine conferred upon them. President Franklin, it is with great pride that I present the class of 2014 of the College of Osteopathic Medicine. Congratulations. You may be seated. Once again, it is my pleasure to call our president, Dr. Angela Franklin, to the podium for the conferring of degrees. Will all the graduates please rise?
I am pleased to receive these candidates. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of this university and by the state of Iowa, I do hereby confer upon you the degree for which you have been endorsed, with all of the honors, rights, privileges, and responsibilities pertaining to this degree, of which your diploma will be a witness forever. You are hereby recognized as graduates and alumni of Des Moines University. Congratulations. You may be seated. At this point, we're going to recognize individually the different degree candidates.
I am pleased to introduce Dr. Pamela Duffy, Assistant Professor in the Master of Public Health program, who will announce the names of the graduates for the College of Health Sciences.
Good morning. We will begin the recognition for the graduates in the Healthcare Administration program who have earned a Master of Healthcare Administration degree. Will the graduates please come forward? Andrea K. Alt. Melanie Boyd. Melissa Ann Carish Bradfield. Samantha Brower. Carrie Nicole Dychek. Christina R. Gray. Tricia Ann Grease. Maria Kennedy. William Henry Kohler IV. Alexandra Krogh. Chad Cruzy. Blessy Vagaris Peacedale. Karen L. Powell. Lori J. Rathbun. Ryan J. Smith. Melissa Jo Sudman. Selena M. Vesley, graduate with distinction. Robert J. Wethel. Christy L. Willenbring. Des Moines University now recognizes those graduates who earned the Master of Public Health degree. Griffin R. Dye. Sarah Ann Evans. Christina Floyd. Rebecca Ann Goldsmith. Marin Leigh Anderson, Lenhart. Simon Kayaga McGarwal. Faria M. Omar. Kirsty Lee Sirks. Ann W. Tuchgiel. It is now my pleasure to welcome to the platform the graduates of the Physician Assistant Program who are receiving the Master of Science degree in Physician Assistant Studies. Sarah McClellan Barnett. Mark E. Baumert. Blair R. Banky. Brittany R. Bolig. Lauren Elizabeth Boleen. Emily Sue Brady. Emily Ray Cardella. Whitney Renee Soretti. Katarina Ruth Conradson. Daniel Luke Cottrell. Alyssa Marie Dresden. Teresa A. Edwards. Amber M. Fairty. Julie Marie Fleener. Rachel A. Hawes. Christopher J. Handyside. Courtney Berjui Heater. Kendra Jean Hilmerson. Kelly Margaret Hintz, graduate with distinction. Seth Francis Hockaday. Hannah Marie Hofer. Gabriel Sean Jefferson. Lori Catherine Johans. Laura Ani Johnson. Brittany A. Jones. Katie M. Klang. Ashley Ray Knapp. Molly A. Lenhart. Anna Catherine Losiski. Kaylee Marie Lundberg. Kaylee Joe Mathias. Angela L. McGee. Shane M. McIntyre. Jill Lorraine Paulson. Andrew Jonathan Peterson. Caitlin Janelle Phillips. Scott Michael Reifsnyder. Jessica Brooke Risen. Kristen M. Roloff. Harkin Curtis Rosendahl. Megan S. Sanders. Hannah Ruth Singletary. Travis Wayne Urbach. Derek D. Vanderberg. Emily Ray Wagner. Kelsey M. Walsh. Jordan Ashley Williams. Tyler J. Zonker. Lindsay Renee Zalstra. The physician assistant oath will be administered by Jolene Kelly, Director of the Physician Assistant Program for the College of Health Sciences and an alumna of the class of 1996. Will the graduates please stand?
If there are any other PAs in the audience, would you please stand and join in repeating the physician assistant oath, please? I pledge to perform the following duties with honesty and dedication. I will hold as my primary responsibility the health, safety, welfare, and dignity of all human beings. I will uphold the tenets of patient autonomy, beneficence, non-malfeasance, and justice. I will recognize and promote the value of diversity. I will treat equally all persons who seek my care. I will hold in confidence the information shared in the course of practicing medicine. I will assess my personal capabilities and limitations, striving always to improve my medical practice. I will actively seek to expand my knowledge and skills, keeping abreast of advances in medicine. I will work with other members of the healthcare team to provide compassionate and effective care of patients. I will use my knowledge and experience to contribute to an improved community. I will respect my professional relationship with the physician. I will share and expand knowledge within the profession. These duties are pledged with sincerity and upon my honor. Please be seated.
Des Moines University offers the Doctor of Physical Therapy degree through an on-campus Doctor of Physical Therapy program and through an online post-professional program. We will first recognize the graduates of the Doctor of Physical Therapy program. Hooding the graduates are Dr. Laura Koval, Associate Professor, and Dr. Jason Cook, Assistant Professor in the Physical Therapy program. Dr. Hannah Elise Behrens. Dr. Mitchell R. Blythe. Dr. Bryce Aaron Buckholt. Dr. Paul William Brummond. Dr. Gregory Campbell, Dr. David Gregory Campbell. Dr. Cody Lane Castellaw. Dr. Sarah Dale. Dr. Andrew Philip Dobman, hooded by Dr. Caitlin Dobman.
Now we're going to switch. They're going to rotate.
Now, Dr. Caitlin Mary Dobman, hooded by Dr. Andrew Dobman. Dr. Brittany Lynn Davis.
I had to go first.
Dr. Nathan A. Domino. Dr. Brent Allen Drazimski. Dr. Jeremy C. Furman. Dr. Cole Jones Pfister. Dr. Megan M. Franson. Dr. Ryan R. Henriksen. Dr. Shalina A. Marie Herring. Dr. Corey B. Hortzman. Dr. Michelle Christine Jeske. Dr. Samantha Jewell. Dr. Anna Christine Klingenberg. Dr. Carla Sue Kalk. Dr. Jocelyn Marie Cook. Dr. Amanda Kornhoff. Dr. Courtney L. Kovacs. Dr. Brian Michael Ladd. Dr. Brandon Robert Lim. Dr. Kelly Morgan Cook Mine. Dr. Kelly Jean Mills. Dr. Michelle Lee Ninemeyer. Dr. Bobby Jo Beth Perry. Dr. Stephanie Ann Rye. Dr. Andrea R. Redfern. Dr. Ashley Marie Rhine. Dr. Derek Sanchez. Dr. Justin Robert Sheriff. Dr. Dana Christopher Schmidt. Dr. J.C. Jane Schmidt. Dr. Cassandra Jo Shupe, graduate with distinction. Dr. Ryan C. Spreitzer. Dr. Trina Rose Stone. Dr. Amanda Lee Stoner. Dr. Douglas Roger Gary Thompson. Dr. Tanner Nate Tryon. Dr. Isaac A. Tubasing. Dr. Allison Mary Van Ort. Dr. Erin Nicole Verscore. Dr. Clara L. Warbritton. Dr. Matthew J. Wickett. Dr. Mary Elizabeth Wilson. Dr. Whitney S. Wilson. Dr. Nolan C. Wright. Dr. Zach R. Zaid. We will now recognize the graduates who were awarded the Doctor of Physical Therapy degree through the Post-Professional Doctor of Physical Therapy program. Hooding the graduates are Dr. Shane McClinton, Assistant Professor, and Dr. Catherine Stevermer, Assistant Professor, Physical Therapy Program. Dr. Eileen Bermudez Bernardo, graduate with distinction, hooded by Dr. Benjamin Cordero Bernardo. Dr. A.J. K. Bargov. Dr. Julie Beth Bowl. Dr. Hermine Hilda Delantar Smith. Dr. Martin R. Dolfino. Dr. Dianel Domingo Keoka. Dr. Irenita Espanon Duque. Dr. Maricita Faustino. Dr. Daisy Florentino Golong. Dr. Radhika Pranay Gandhi. Dr. Deepika Goyal. Dr. Christine Keyrong Johnson. Dr. Joss Joseph. Dr. Rebecca Kelty. Dr. Teresa Jane Kuhn. Dr. Eunice L. Liebert Roberts. Dr. Premila Martin. Dr. Janelle L. May. Dr. Adriana Novoa Diaz. Dr. Ahinze Katechan Usuhan Madi. Dr. Salman Prakesh. Dr. Olivia Manikis Quintos. Dr. Michael G. Rivera. Dr. Joanne Vincent. Dr. Shala M. Wiggs-Lechner. The physical therapy oath will be administered by Dr. Tracy Bush, Director of the Doctor of Physical Therapy program for the College of Health Sciences and a member of the class of 1995. Will the graduates please stand?
Good morning. At this time, I would like to invite all physical therapists present in the audience today and on stage to please stand and join the graduates as we recite the physical therapy oath in unison. As I practice the art of physical therapy, I will respect the rights and dignity of all individuals and will provide compassionate care. I will place the welfare of my patients and clients above my own self-interest. I will exercise sound judgment and comply with laws and regulations that govern physical therapy and protect the public from unethical, incompetent, and illegal acts. I will maintain professional competence and promote high standards for physical therapy practice, education, and research. I will address the health needs of society and strive to effect changes that benefit patients, clients, and the community. Thus, with this pledge, I freely accept the responsibilities that accompany the practice of physical therapy. Please be seated, and congratulations.
I'm pleased to introduce Dr. James Mahoney, Associate Professor, who will announce the names of the graduates in the College of Podiatric Medicine and Surgery. Hooding the graduates are Dr. John Bennett, Associate Professor of Podiatric Medicine, and Dr. Mindy Philmeyer, Assistant Professor.
Dr. Ross Christopher Bartley. Dr. Richard H. Bell. Dr. Christina L. Behrens. Dr. Sean Michael Beddish. Dr. Gregory Bidow. Dr. Christopher Sullivan Bork. Dr. Ashley A. Bruno. Dr. Jason W. Burkle. Dr. Peter A. Crisologo, hooded by Dr. Peter Crisologo. Dr. Drew Michael Davidson. Dr. Kyle J. Duncan. Dr. Kayla Marie Emter. Dr. Samuel James Gervais. Dr. Michael David Gibney. Dr. Melanie Ann Gonzalez. Dr. Matthew Anthony Gorski. Dr. Lisa M. Grant, hooded by Dr. William P. Grant. Dr. Alondra M. Greenlee. Dr. Jennifer L. Hall. Dr. Jordan F. Hershey. Dr. Merrill K. Kaway. Dr. Jason H. Kim, graduate with distinction. Dr. Travis D. Klott. Dr. Brent J. Larson. Dr. John Patrick Lazaretz, hooded by Dr. Stephen Lazaretz. Dr. Adam Eric Long. Dr. Tyler Preston Mansell. Dr. Lanster Rusk Martin. Dr. Andrew Richard Mastay. Dr. Allison Marie Magonis. Dr. Todd William Nielsen. Dr. Stephen D. O'Brien. Dr. Jeffrey S. Olson. Dr. Andrew James Ott. Dr. Zeno John Fow. Dr. Elena M. Puccinelli. Dr. Kevin M. Renner. Dr. Laura Ann Richards. Dr. Eric James Rindlisbacher. Dr. Ashton J. Schuster. Dr. Abigail Morgan Smith. Dr. Chelsea Marie Snyder, hooded by Dr. Joseph Snyder. Dr. Brett V. Sorensen. Dr. Matthew V. Stoddard. Dr. Raquel Kushi Sugino. Dr. Travis Nelson Tidwell. Dr. Bo C. Vesely. Dr. Meredith Lee Ward, hooded by Dr. Philip Ward. Dr. James Hazelton Whalen. Dr. John Michael Witt, hooded by Dr. Kathy Jo Witt. Dr. Amber L. Wibbles. Dr. Wyatt Isaac Wiedenfeld. Dr. Tyler J. Wishow.
The podiatric oath will be administered by Dr. Kevin Smith, Associate Dean for Clinical Affairs in the College of Podiatric Medicine and Surgery. He is a member of the CPMS class of 1995. The graduates, please stand.
At this time, I'd like to invite all podiatric physicians in the audience to please stand and recite the podiatric oath with the graduates. Upon my honor, I declare that I will accept the moral and the legal responsibilities which become mine as a member of the podiatric medical profession. Those talents with which I may have been endowed will be devoted to aid those who may choose to entrust themselves to my judgment and care. I will abstain from all intentional harm and wrongdoing to my fellow citizens, especially from abusing the soul or the body of those who entrust themselves to my professional care. In all good faith, I will support my profession and do what I may to advance its best interests, even at the sacrifice of my personal advantages. In serving my patients, I will administer to their needs in a professional manner to the best of my ability. In all instances, I will do that which will reflect credit and honor on this, my chosen profession.
I would now like to introduce Dr. Michael Metz, Associate Professor and Chair, Department of Specialty Medicine, and Dr. Wayne Wilson, Associate Professor of Biochemistry and Nutrition for the College of Osteopathic Medicine, who will announce the graduates in the College of Osteopathic Medicine.
Dr. Tyler David Asen, hooded by Dr. Michael D. Asen. Dr. Matthew J. Abendroth. Dr. Benjamin Ross Ahrens. Dr. Ariba Fatima Asan, hooded by Dr. Junaid Asan. Dr. Kento Akasaka. Dr. Sarah Ann Acree, hooded by Dr. Nathan Andrews. Dr. Haitham Samir Alabsi. Dr. Ryan W. Allen. Dr. Julie Jelaine Anderson, hooded by Dr. Eric P. Anderson. Dr. Nathan J. Andrews, hooded by Dr. Michael Musteel. Dr. Raina Lynn Armbruster. Dr. Brandon Scott Arnold, hooded by Dr. Nichelle Hackert. Dr. Stephanie Marie Athman. Dr. Catherine Slaybaugh Bachman. Dr. Joshua J. Baker. Dr. Kendra Lee Baker. Dr. Douglas Andrew Bauer. Dr. Alexis Ray Beinlich. Dr. Tyler J. Burenick. Dr. Kelsey Noel Berlin. Dr. Kyle Michael Betts, also receiving the Master of Science in Anatomy degree. Dr. Andrew Bear Bishop. Dr. Justin D. Bloomberg. Dr. Elizabeth Ann Bodnia, hooded by Dr. James Bodnia. Dr. Brock Eugene Bohm, hooded by Dr. Bradley Bohm. Dr. Deborah J. Borkerding. Dr. Christine Marie Borges. Dr. Anna Greta Bowen. Dr. Kelly Rose Bowen. Dr. Michael G. Bronsky. Dr. Tara Lynn Brockman. Dr. Veronica Ann Broughton. Dr. Kristen Marie Burstedt. Dr. Jessica Marie Butanis. Dr. Marcus J. Christensen. Dr. Lauren J. Christman. Dr. Armin Chichich. Dr. Emily A. Shula. Dr. Scott P. Conover. Dr. Casey Scott Cook. Dr. Craig Stephen Cookman, hooded by Dr. Joseph Cookman. Dr. Bryce Lloyd Coombs, hooded by Dr. Jaron Coombs. Dr. Stephanie K. Covey. Dr. Michael D. Craddock. Dr. Gregory F. Crudson. Dr. Lindsay Morgan Dallas. Dr. Melissa M. Deere. Dr. Bradley M. Decourt, hooded by Dr. Michael Andrew Decourt. Dr. Camille A. DeLisi. Dr. Damon A. DeMars. Dr. Laith Rommel Dinka. Dr. Robert Paul Downing, also receiving the Master of Science in Anatomy degree. Dr. Eric James Drabelby. Dr. James J. Drynan. Dr. Victoria Carol Dufour. Dr. Jeffrey A. Ebel. Dr. Todd C. Eberly. Dr. Deborah Edelman. Dr. Jordan Mark Eldersveld. Dr. Rachel Michelle King Ely, also receiving Master of Healthcare Administration degree. Dr. Michael L. Espeland. Dr. Kristen Lynn Fitzgerald, hooded by Dr. Keely Fitzgerald. Dr. Austin B. Frower. Dr. Thomas Robert Geisler. Dr. Whitney Lee Gruvelis. Dr. Kirsten E. Gierach. Dr. Tricia Ann Gilling, hooded by Dr. Nathan Gilling. Dr. Jacob E. Gingerich. Dr. Scott Martin Gleason, also receiving the Master of Science in Anatomy degree. Dr. Stacy L. Gettle. Dr. Aaron Michael Goldish, hooded by Dr. Gary Goldish and Dr. Bonnie Goldish. Dr. Sean P. Gold. Dr. Andrew Eckhart Graff, hooded by Dr. Arnold Lamar Graff III. Dr. Brian D. Gray, hooded by Dr. James H. Gray. Dr. Matthew C. Griffin, hooded by Dr. Timothy Griffin. Dr. Amanda Violet Griffin. Dr. Arun Kumar Gupta, hooded by Dr. Navin Gupta. Dr. Nichelle K. Dr. Samuel Jacob Healy. Dr. Caitlin R. Hinkleman, hooded by Dr. Gerald Kowal. Dr. Jennifer Rose Hess. Dr. Robert Charles Lavacek. Dr. Joseph Brian Holback II. Dr. Julia Jane Hobson. Dr. Michael K. Hoger, hooded by Dr. Mike Hoger. Dr. Tiffany Ann Hollenbeck. Dr. Nathan Vern Holmes. Dr. Cynthia Alice Layla Hawk. Dr. Benjamin Wallace Howard, hooded by Dr. William Howard. Dr. Kelly Ann Hunter. Dr. Frank H. Huang. Dr. Spencer Baingirder Hyde. Dr. Drew Iman, hooded by Dr. Aaron Iman. Dr. Amiko Virginia Ishihara. Dr. Benjamin W. Jaderholm. Dr. Eric D. Johnson. Dr. Richard S. Johnson, hooded by Dr. Stephen Johnson. Dr. Caitlin M. Joyce, graduate with distinction. Dr. Stacy Lee Kamada. Dr. Andrew W. Camps. Dr. Sarah Marie Corrales. Dr. Abhishek Kurva. Dr. Lisa T. Kim. Dr. Kyle Lee Chomi. Dr. Rebecca J. Klein, hooded by Dr. Eric Klein. Dr. Angela Ann Knobloch.
Dr. Abigail Catherine Coker. Dr. Sarah Michelle Collar, hooded by Dr. Brian Collar. Dr. Emily Marie Corman. Dr. Leela Rahimi Crumble. Dr. Liram Kurveshi. Dr. John P. Kuckelman. Dr. Vipasha R. Kumar. Dr. Joseph D. Larson. Dr. Ryan Edward Laughlin. Dr. James B. Law. Dr. Tara A. Lenk. Dr. Molly Kathleen Lepick, also receiving Master of Science in Anatomy degree. Dr. Janelle Marjorie Lindow. Dr. Sarah Beiser Ling. Dr. Daniel L. Long. Dr. Stephanie Jo Perkins Mahan. Dr. Caleb Masterson. Dr. Nathan David McConkey, hooded by Dr. Isha Butler. Dr. Alexandria M. McKay. Dr. Lindsay Rose McKinley. Dr. Brianna Rochelle McMurray. Dr. Jared W. Meeker, hooded by Dr. Mark Allen Meeker. Dr. Caitlin Martha Mellencamp. Dr. Mackenzie May Mertz. Dr. Jeffrey T. Messerly. Dr. Lindsay C. Mettenbrink. Dr. Andy McAllowitz. Dr. Carlin R. Miller. Dr. Scott D. Miller. Dr. Kylie Morris. Dr. Emily Elizabeth Morse. Dr. Jesse Aaron Mortimer. Dr. Luke Joseph Mountjoy. Dr. Jonathan Kerry Murdoch. Dr. Stephen William Murphy. Dr. John David Murray. Dr. William J. Narachi. Dr. Catherine A. Nelson. Dr. Jesse Stewart Nelson, hooded by Dr. Joshua James Nelson. Dr. Suan T. Nguyen. Dr. Matthew S. Nicholson. Dr. Daniel Patrick Nikolai. Dr. Jessica L. Nokovic. Dr. Gary Noy. Dr. Amy Ann Olmshank. Dr. Amanda Jean Olson. Dr. Sarah Marie O'Mara. Dr. Hiral A. Patel. Dr. Pooja Patel, hooded by Dr. Ravi Patel. Dr. Austin James Peters. Dr. Christopher B. Peters. Dr. Brandon T. Phelps. Dr. Laura Jin Pinka. Dr. Paul Christopher Pearson. Dr. Nicholas Gary Plundo, hooded by Dr. Gary Plundo. Dr. Garrett J. Plume. Dr. Thomas K. Podobinski. Dr. Carrie D. Petke. Dr. Karen K. Powell. Dr. Ryan James Jacob Pradko, hooded by Dr. John Pradko. Dr. Leah Marie Probst. Dr. John H. Pym. Dr. Michael William Vincent Ross. Dr. Nicholas Mitchell Ryan, also receiving Master of Science in Anatomy degree. Dr. Malika A. Sajari. Dr. Amy Kathleen Shanson, hooded by Dr. John Shanson. Dr. John Michael Shanson, hooded by Dr. Amy Shanson. Dr. Christine Lee Shaplowski. Dr. Aaron David Scanoni. Dr. Eric John Schmidt. Dr. Seth William Schmall. Dr. Sabrina Skoll. Dr. Christine Elise Scott. Dr. Mark William Semrad. Dr. Akash Mukesh Shah. Dr. April M. Shoemake. Dr. Amy Schumacher. Dr. Justin Luke Smith, also receiving Master of Science in Anatomy degree. Dr. Katie Renee Smith. Dr. Lindsay M. Smith. Dr. Cian Shannon So. Dr. Rebecca Lee Stark. Dr. Jeffrey P. Stein. Dr. Natalie J. Steinhoff, hooded by Dr. William R. Warner. Dr. Lee Dale Stokes. Dr. Clayton R. Stewart. Dr. Alex T. Suginaka. Dr. Rachel Marie Summers. Dr. Benjamin Thomas Sundling. Dr. Stephen Robert Tulsness. Dr. Aaliyah Kirsten Thomas. Dr. Amanda J. Thuringer. Dr. Aaron F. Triplett. Dr. Carol Edward Turner IV. Dr. Mark Christopher Turpin. Dr. Franklin August Urian. Dr. John J. Very. Dr. Alex Xen Vlahopoulos. Dr. Adam P. Wadzinski. Dr. Kimberly A. Weichel, hooded by Dr. Todd Weichel. Dr. Allison Janelle Wilden. Dr. Daisy Miller Winter. Dr. Megan Elizabeth Wooster. Dr. Jennifer Faye Wu. Dr. Javin Rose Wunchley. Dr. George Zabani. Our final graduates in the class of 2014 for the College of Osteopathic Medicine are the Fellows in Osteopathic Manual Medicine. They have spent one additional year training current students in the art and science of osteopathic manual medicine. Dr. Jessen A. Baumgartner, hooded by Dr. Brett Baumgartner. Dr. Kate Marie Clendenin. Dr. Crystal Lynn Redman. Dr. Krista M. Stanton. Dr. Michael Lee Watson, Jr.
The osteopathic oath will now be administered by Dr. David Plundo, Associate Dean for Medical Education and External Affairs and a member of the class of 1985. Will the graduates in osteopathic medicine please stand?
I would also invite all doctors of osteopathic medicine in the audience and on the podium to please rise and reaffirm their oath with us. I do hereby affirm my loyalty to the profession I am about to enter. I will be mindful always of my great responsibility to preserve the health and life of my patients, to retain their respect, both as a physician and a friend, who will guard their secrets with scrupulous honor and fidelity, to perform faithfully my professional duties, to employ only those recognized methods of treatment consistent with good judgment and with my skill and ability, keeping in mind always nature's laws and the body's inherent capacity for recovery. I will be ever vigilant in aiding in the general welfare of the community, sustaining its laws and institutions, not engaging in those practices which will in any way bring shame or discredit upon myself or my profession. I will give no drugs for deadly purposes to any person, though it may be asked of me. I will endeavor to work in accord with my colleagues in a spirit of progressive cooperation and never by word or act cast imputation upon them or their rightful practices. I will look with respect and esteem upon all those who have taught me my art. To my college, I will be loyal and strive always for its best interests and for the interests of the students who will come after me. I will be ever alert to further the application of basic biologic truths to the healing arts and to develop the principles of osteopathy, which were first enunciated by Andrew Taylor Still. You may please be seated.
It is now my pleasure to introduce the President of the Alumni Association for Des Moines University, Dr. Robert Suter, a member of the class of 1989 of the College of Osteopathic Medicine and the College of Health Sciences. Dr. Suter is here this weekend to celebrate the 25th anniversary of his graduation, in addition to delivering this welcome to the newest members of our alumni body. Dr. Suter.
2014 graduates of Des Moines University, it is my honor to welcome all of you as the newest members of your Alumni Association. Commencement is always impressive and special. Today, you experience that singular feeling of pride and accomplishment that comes with earning a professional degree, just as my classmates and I did 25 years ago. Your degrees from DMU are your keys to changing not only your life, but as health providers and professionals, to changing the world, one patient or one community at a time. Treasure your keys and honor them, and never forget the institution that gave them to you. Take a lesson from our commencement speaker and light the path forward with this torch. Light the path to health and wellness while you dream, plan, act, and believe. As you fulfill your highest individual hopes, please recall the common connection that all of us now have as alumni of this great institution and our continued relationship with Des Moines University as ongoing partners. Let this not be the end, but the beginning of a new phase of your association with DMU. Together as alumni, with our future students and alumni, we can light a path into perpetuity. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Suter. At this point in our celebration, it is befitting for the graduates to pay tribute to those who have contributed greatly to their success. Will the graduates please rise? Through great dedication and commitment, your esteemed faculty have advanced your capacities as caring and compassionate healthcare providers, scientists, and administrators. And as you go forward, you too have a responsibility to wisely use what you have learned to preserve and enhance the quality of life for those individuals and communities you serve. I ask you to demonstrate your appreciation by applauding the faculty seated in the front rows. And now graduates, to your parents, partners, loved ones, friends, and supporters, people who have cheered you throughout every step of this journey, I ask you to turn and face the audience. This is your opportunity to say thanks. And now graduates. On behalf of the administration, faculty, and staff at Des Moines University, we commend each of you on achieving this significant milestone. This day is a special day of celebration, achievement, and challenge. We celebrate your successful completion of the requirements for the Doctor of Osteopathic Medicine, Doctor of Podiatric Medicine, Doctor of Physical Therapy, Master of Science in Anatomy, Master of Science in Biomedical Sciences, Master of Science in Physician Assistant Studies, Master of Public Health, and Master of Healthcare Administration. This is an important milestone, and we celebrate it with you. It is also a day when we acknowledge your achievement of a body of knowledge and a set of special skills with which you can now go forth to render special service to improve the health and health care of our state, our nation, and our world. It is a day of challenge, since now many of you must commit to those important next steps that will complete your preparation and training, that will confer upon you the eligibility to use your skills as a fully qualified professional in your chosen area of endeavor. These are challenges that you have shown yourselves ready to assume and to master. We extend our congratulations to you and to your families and loved ones. We share in the pride they feel in your accomplishments, and we are as excited as they are about the service you will render and the difference you will make. What an exciting and rewarding future that lies ahead of you. A favorite quote of mine is, "Know that you will make your living by what you get, but you will make a life by what you give." Go and serve. Commit to your part in fulfilling our noble mission in the delivery of medical care, in the advancement of knowledge, and in strengthening our system of health care. Reach far, dream colossal dreams, set audacious goals, be bold in leadership, and in the name of service to mankind, be possessed of an outrageous ambition to make things better. That is your legacy. The service that you give is partial payment on the investment made by others in you. I therefore charge you to relentlessly pursue knowledge, seek wisdom, give service, and demand excellence throughout your lifetime. I charge you to fulfill the promise of being health professionals committed first to service for our nation's rural and underserved citizens, with a dedication to prevention, wellness, and the delivery of compassionate, patient-centered care. I charge you to maintain respect for others and to cherish those who have been your greatest champions. Remember that professional integrity is essential to your success as a healthcare professional. So I charge you to also embrace the values of honesty, accountability, collaboration, and inclusiveness as the basic tenets of integrity. I charge you to be honorable and supportive alumni of Des Moines University. See this as an imperative to invest in the next generation of healthcare professionals. I charge you to lead, to inspire, and to serve, and to be always assured of our enormous pride in you. Congratulations, dream big, and focus your life on doing a world of good. I'm now pleased to ask our Grand Marshal to step forward, so you may please be seated for the final pronouncement of this ceremony.
These proceedings are now officially concluded. We'd like the guests to please remain seated until the recessional is completed. Families and friends are invited to greet the graduates in Hall B to my left, right out there. And friends are and to my left in the atrium outside, the doorways, or in this hall. Will the platform party, faculty, and graduates please rise for the recessional? I think I have to lead them up.